Hey, what's going on, everybody? Patreon. Want to get a video out to you guys for you 3-4 guys who are working with the Wade Phillips plan. I just finished playing a league game. I'm in my third to fourth game. You guys don't remember, I actually had planned on doing this, but that league folded. So I didn't get a chance to fully, work this defense the way I wanted to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and just show you a quick little clip of the plays that I'm using in this game. It's about 21 plays, game plan plays for situational stuff. And then you're going to see, I'm going to be using them on defense. All right. So I'll pause it where I'll put that clip in there right now. And then we'll come back and I'll pull out some plays from this game that you might want to take a look at, or we're going to look at together and talk about things I did right, things I did wrong out of the 3-4 defense. And then I'll put a link to the actual full game if you want to watch this game. Okay. So I'll be right back. All right. So I went back, I erased my favorites from my 4-3 system, crying, but it's okay because this part of the book right here, the favorite system, is just good to allow me to kind of refresh and reset everything. And from the actual playlist that you guys have, or the ready list is what I call, I just kind of took out plays that I wanted to run in this game. So you're going to see me running these plays pretty much exclusively, these 21 plays, okay? So dime 236, this is the cover, this is third and long right here. So I wanted to play some third and long. I wanted to play cover 9, cover 6, and cover 3 buzz. And sometimes I played match, and sometimes I turned it off on cover 6 and cover 9. I'll talk about that. Then when it's like third and medium-ish, I was thinking I was going to play some two-man, some regular quarters, press quarters, so those two will look the same, and then also play some cover 1 show robber 2. And also that could be used in any type of passing situation on first and second down. Then here I wanted to work on three of the a couple of the pressures, okay, that I put in the light in the light guide. Okay, so what I did was I had my computer open and I had the blitz. If you guys don't know, there's a Wade Phillips and there's also a Jim Swartz blitz cheat sheet. Okay, so cover 1 contain. All right, that is Snoopy. Okay, I didn't get a chance to really run it, so I'm sorry about that. But Sam Mike 1, that's also another one of the pressures that are on there. That one is, I think that's Odd Bum 1. Okay. Then we also have the Zorro Odd Scrape. That's the next one over there. I think I ran Odd Bum 1 once. I might have messed up the setup. I was prepared to run those two plays over there, the ones out of double mug. I was prepared to run those. One of them was going to be I'm trying to just you see I'm still not 100% with it. It's hard to switch two different systems. That's why I think guys are trying to do too much. Just be careful. You don't want to try to, get yourself caught out there, especially if you want to do the pressure part of the package. Um, I was going to go Dragon B or Dragon Heel. That would be the mid-zero blitz. Okay. And then the other one, the last one would have been Packer. Okay. But I didn't run those two plays. I did run some double safety blitz, the SB, so safety blitz. I ran that. But I wanted to just come into the game with 6. This is what happens in real life too, guys. You practice against a team and you say, I'm going to run these pressures, maybe from watching film or whatever it might be, but that's where we're at right now. So these 6 pressures is what I planned on running. Didn't really run a whole lot. Okay. The guy gave me some tough formations. Then on first and second down, I was just going to mix in these calls, and you'll see them a lot. 9 quarters. 9 was going to be versus bunch formations. You're going to see me do that, or 3-by-1. Quarters, I ran a couple times versus 2-by-2. And then 3 seam was going to be the 3 cheat. If you haven't seen that video, go check out the 3 cheat. I wanted to work that a little bit to kind of give him a different look. Uh, Linebacker blitz 1, that was a blitz. It's Mad 1. I wanted to run that play just to kind of work a little bit of some green dog pressure. Cover 1 robber I planned on using, didn't use it a whole lot, and cover 1 whole press. I wanted to actually give him a cover 1 press look and then have the safety player way over the top. That was going to be my user. And kind of get into that. And then on first and second down, if he came out of anything that was 2 receivers or less on the field, I was pretty much running cover, saw 1 blitz, cover 3 sky, and quarters. And if you notice, I'm doing it from over, okay, because I feel like over is better against the outside run. So as we go through the game, those are the 21 plays you're going to see me using a lot in this game. And I just want to let you guys see it here so that when we see it in the game, it's going to be moving a lot faster and we can talk about it. All right. I'll see you guys in the Madden field. Okay, so we're back in the first drive, and on the very first drive, I make a mistake here. If you watch the video I did on stopping the stretch run, that's the first run you need to stop and it's pretty tough out of the base 3-4 under package that Wade likes to run. So I suggested to use the over package. So you're going to see my first and second down calls when I don't know if it's a run or a pass. You're going to see a lot of there's three coverages. Cover one, we're going to send 5 men pressure, right? That's going to be the Sam Will one. Cover three, which we're going to work in there, which is going to be just straight drop cover three, and then quarters, which we're using much. Okay. So that's pretty much like the meat and potatoes. You might have to use one more than the other. Now, this league I'm in doesn't allow you to pick a play again until 5 plays later. So, basically it puts a hold on how many times you can call it. So I'm going to have to mix it up even more than I probably would. Okay. So, anyway, they come out an ace pair here. And I talked about this in the adjustments that you need to shift your linebackers to the side of where the tight ends are. I don't do that here. Okay. So if you go back and watch it, I actually say you should take your linebackers and you should shift them really in this case to the right, which would basically put this guy on the line of scrimmage as a 9 technique. He'd be sitting out here, and then you would have two backers in the box. Okay, that's going to be much better against the stretch. But if you can't do that or you forget to do that, the base thing that you have to do is do what? Just spread your linebackers and put the rush guys into contain. Okay. So I end up doing that here. And then I kind of move my linebacker over here. And let's just watch this play. This play actually ends up pretty good. Really because of this player here. He kind of does a nice job. The safety's obviously down. It's cover one against 12 personnel. And I don't get all the adjustments in. There was a little bit of a gap there, but he couldn't get to it because this outside linebacker did a nice job of falling back inside. I like the safety where he's at. He does a nice job of getting outside as the force player. That's pretty good. That's the power of cover one. Okay. So there's a gap there. There's a little bit too big of a space, but make the adjustment also with that. And again, why do you make that adjustment versus two tight end sets? Okay, when they have a wing tight end, that's really one of the hardest plays to stop. So come out in 3-4 over, call cover one if you have it. Saw blitz one. You could probably call cover three as well, but I like saw blitz one and try to shift your linebackers to that side. Okay. I didn't get it in this game. I forgot about it, to be honest with you. But just spreading your linebackers by itself does a decent job. That's more of the technique you use when there's two backs in the backfield and it's like I formation. Then you just spread your D line, okay? Or your linebackers. All right. See you in the next clip. Okay, I got to stop and talk about this formation. This is that half compressed type of formation where on the left side of the screen, you get these guys in a stack, right? I'm going to consider this full compression, to be honest with you, because even the right side of the screen, pretty close to the numbers, okay? So it's a compression set. So what do I have in this game? You already see the plays that I can call that I wanted to call this game. So this one is going to be just cover one. And I wanted to try to just show you guys from one robber right here as we're playing it, okay? If you press the nickel, usually you get a good result. Here, it doesn't work out too well, okay? But what I did was to do it quickly for me, the way I'm used to it is I pressed the whole defense and then I backed off the corners, all right? So that's what I did there and I let the nickel in. Now we're going to get the classic pivot route combination here with just any type of pivot route. And you can tell that my opponent wants to wait on it. I think he backs up really far. He goes over there. He's waiting on the route. That's very generic play right there. And, I get beat. But you know what? It's not the worst thing in the world. If I wanted to play more cover one, I feel confident that I'm going to potentially in the future user that nickel. Okay. I might even double team the nickel. Put the guy who's coming down into the robber, play him man on the nickel, and then I'll just use the nickel and just sit out there and wait for that route. Maybe I should do that to start the game, but I just wanted to I wasn't really thinking, to be honest with you. I just kind of wanted to get cover one on film versus a compression type set. I was hoping to get a different route combination, but I'll tell you what, the only reason why I think this didn't actually work out was because if you watch the nickel, he presses the wrong guy. He actually presses the guy that he's not covering. So I don't know what happened there. He ended up pressing the wrong guy, but he actually he ran back into the receiver here which made the quarterback have to hold the ball. If I had any type of pass rush, that might have been a problem. Okay, so we're going to see a lot of coverages versus a lot of compression in this game, and gives you different ideas of things that you might like. I like to always have at least three answers going into every game. I think in this game, I was just rotating my calls. Okay, so let's see the next play. Okay, so this is another compression set, the very next play. And I called cover 4 quarters, okay, with match on. I don't suggest to do this. I really don't, unless you're going to make some adjustments that I've talked about on my Patreon of playing triangle or playing lock triangle, but it's really a lot to do. All right, so I actually end up getting away with this, but this is the reason why you don't want to play a compression set with just regular cover 4 with match on. We're going to get a mesh combination here. He sits down, he runs across. Okay, and we get a wheel. We get a rail route. Okay, which is like a wheel. So against regular cover 4, what happens here is our secondary actually plays pretty well back here. All right, these two DBs will take care of that route. That's gone. Okay. The corner actually does a good job of not chasing anything because he doesn't have anything to chase. So he takes care of the wheel, which is good. Okay. This safety here is going to match down on this 10 to 12 yard TP route, okay, sitting over the ball. That's taken care of. But the underneath coverage is going to be the hard part, okay? So this player here, this quarterback defender will get out with some width. He won't really play anybody. He might even actually run up with the wheel, okay? So the problem is we're going to have what? We're going to have two crossing routes go across the field. Now, if you watch me later on in the game, you'll see me chase this one. I'm doing the right thing. I don't want to spend a long time explaining why I'm doing the right thing. The three receiver hook player should be walling anything coming from the three receiver side. Any type of shallow route, he should be walling or matching, running with it, right? But he doesn't do that here. So this is the reason why usually I'm bringing all this up to say that I usually like to play some sort of like man to one side maybe and zone to the other. And I usually put the zone side to wherever the running back is, okay, or to wherever the bunch is. Okay, that's kind of a lot to say, but right now that's how I do it. You could get burnt with a couple routes. I won't talk about them until we see them, but I usually like to put cover 2 over here, play quarters on this side, and use my nickel. And if you go back and want to watch my film on how I play triangle, that's what I do. Okay. But what happens is when we get just zone defenders over here, anybody that's running from the man side into the zone side is golden because at least there's players there waiting. So you can call cover 6, you can call 6 invert. That's another one, right? You can call 2 invert, right? You can kind of this calls you can make 3 cloud. Just make sure that over here to this side of the field, okay, you want to get some sort of cloud coverage. You could just call cover 2, which is probably my baby this year overall, and get cloud coverage on both sides, right? But of course, we know we're kind of, the corner routes, it could be a little bit of an issue, all right? But in general, I want to stop some of these shallows, these easy routes that go across the field. And I think playing some sort of 6 or invert or 2 is probably the best way. But if you want to play quarters, the only other thing you could do is turn off match, which I've done. So no match, just get your zone drops and let these guys zone out. I would play in the middle with the middle linebacker, right? And at least be there so that the only thing that's really open is shallow routes, okay? At least the deep stuff, right, is in better shape. Okay, so let's think about that. There's going to be a lot of compression in this game. I think it was good for me to pause it now. This is an example of what you don't want to do. This is quarters, and I've seen in match. I tried to play triangle, and don't worry about the result. Now, it should have been a pick 6 because that guy made a poor read. We could talk about that more later against bad players and how that can work for you. But for right now, I want you to know that when you get compression sets, it's best. And if you want to play man, that's fine. But play some sort of cover 2 or cloud coverage to one half of the compression. So it kind of frees you up for not having to chase guys across the field. All right. You won't get busted coverage from underneath routes. All right. Here's the next play. I just let it roll into it here. I actually came out with a pressure look. And I wanted to actually see here. This is a little bit of an experiment. I was going to try to run Mad 1 against 12 personnel. The main thing I was trying to do was I think I talked about this. I think you could stop some of these um, outside runs with 2 tight ends if you press out of nickel. And usually one of the guys walks up. Usually I don't know who it is, the nickel or the safety, but you see right here, this guy comes up. So if he was trying to run outside zone this way, it would be really tough with this player standing here. Okay. Outside zone to the left, a little bit easier, but just at least I made it harder to run outside zone. That was my thought process. But from an overall standpoint, I should have, in this play, I backed off the corners. That's good. But I should have been using the free safety. This is cover one, linebacker blitz. So we're sending five. I should have backed up here and we should have recognized, of course, people are going to try to do what? Throw it to the field to their best receiver against cover one, right? This guy's probably running a post. So one of my ways to stop that is to use that middle safety back up to about 20 yards so I can see it all play out and basically just jump the hell out of the crossing route. If I wasn't thinking about all the run stuff and trying to press and trying to make sure my run gaps were fit, I probably should have been thinking about this on second and long. Early in the game, I should have been thinking about this. So this is a mistake on me. It goes for a touchdown, but it's worth seeing that if you want to try to play nickel, that's fine. Just use it a free safety versus guys that you don't. You can't. You have to assume that everybody's going to be like real simple and cheese in the beginning of a game. You have to assume that everybody's going to just try to eat take routes that are easy. Justin Jefferson is a beast, so of course he's going to run a deep crossing route against me. All right, and after I showed cover one already, that's a poor job by me. So there's going to be some poor jobs here in the beginning of this game. I actually do come back to win the game on the last play, but the beginning, it's a little bit rough. All right. Anyway, I'll get to the next clip. And each clip from this point forward won't be so long. I just wanted to get a lot of that intro talk out of the way. All right. So there were some scores I'm not going to go through. You can go watch the film. I'll put the link of the actual game film. You can watch it later if you want to watch the full thing. But I was playing a lot of cover one to start, going back and reviewing it. Now I'm kind of into the next mode here. He's comfortable. He's expecting certain things. Now versus the compression, I go into cover three and I go hard flats. Okay, so I'm started mixing that in some. Um, what I did there, real quick. Why did I flip the defense? Remember, versus any gun set, you always want to have your defensive line. You want to have your V gap player, the three technique, away from the back. Okay, so you want to make sure that he's on this side. Look how when it starts, he's on the right hand side, right? When the play starts, when you call the play, I call dime three sky. You see how the D linemen are on the other side? Then I flipped it so to make sure that the three technique is opposite the back. Okay. That helps against inside zone. He ends up throwing a pick six here. I don't know. Maybe he just put the pressure got to him. That's for sure. But just putting this in a hard flat took away, obviously, these easy little quick routes. The only route that might have been open was the middle of the field route. He didn't throw it. I went to go play with the corner because I just anticipated at some point he's going to get frustrated and try to throw a corner route. So that's what you see going on there. Ends up being a pick six. Works out for me, and we're in good shape. All right. See you in the next play. So if a couple plays before this, he was driving down the field. He got a couple plays on some pivot routes. And then also, I think, just in general, I just wanted to show you this play because I feel like again, you have to start having the confidence to do this. And the two things that give me confidence to do this is that I use, in the CFMs, I do the DB training every single week, 3 times a week, multiple DBs where you have to cover a guy. And I'm just so comfortable right now with just playing press man to man or just playing man to man in general. That I guarantee you. So this is a 5-man rush. This is actually, I think this is odd bum. Supposed to actually send. I did this wrong. I'm supposed to blitz this guy and man this guy up on the back, but I didn't get a chance to do that. Okay. So besides that, it doesn't matter. It's still a 5-man rush. I was going to try to double team with the safety and put a man to man and then play my inside outside. I'll play the outside half and let the safety come. I just said, you know what? Screw it. I don't want to take the safety out the middle of the field. I just want to let him rock. And I know this is a corner. If it's not, he runs away. He wins. But I just started playing out there. And if you do that drill against the computer in your CFM, you're gonna feel confident with like reading routes and knowing where it's going and kind of like playing the route before it happens. There's a high chance it's going to be a corner route, and that's what he's probably looking for first. But obviously, I'm over there playing with Jones. He scrambles. I probably should have put the defense in contain. That's my fault. But that's the level that I feel like you might have to get to versus people that are repetitive with the compression stuff. You got to start just taking away the route yourself. You know what I mean? All right. See you in the next clip. All right, here's a play I don't want to happen to you guys. So the situation is third and long. Okay, I wanted to get actually a coverage where I can just play zone drop. I wanted to turn match off. And I did that versus this empty formation. It's not the best, but I figured let's just try to work it out. I want to play cover six. I'm going to use her the corner, who's the squat corner, and try to pretty much turn it into like, you know, four deep. You know what I mean? And everybody's playing zone. Usually this matches up fine versus this formation where the quarter side is going to be over here. So I'm going to have a safety here, corner here, and safety here. I was going to use this guy. But if you use the nickel, you use the dime defense 2-3. If you guys don't know, sometimes the assignments get flipped, right? So that's what happens here. Let me just run the play. You see the assignments get flipped. So in order to get rid of the assignments flip, you have to flip the defense yourself. So you see how the assignments are switched? Then I have to flip the defense, which I realize, okay, I'm trying to my only concern is get on the corner because I don't want this guy to sit here right here. I want him to sink back. But the problem is I'm playing cover two to now the three receiver side without a guy dropping in the middle of the field, right? So that's a poor job by me in this situation. I should have definitely just used this guy or put him into a deep spot. But one of these situations where the game screws you over by making me have to make an adjustment on top of the adjustments I'm trying to make before the play. And then what happens is it leads to an easy touchdown, right? So just be careful when you call dime 2-3. Some of the players get flipped. I'm not sure which formations it happens to. Maybe you need to study it. But obviously he runs this route that should have never been open. If I was playing regular quarters, the quarter safety would have played that, and I would have been in good shape. So I had to flip the defense to basically turn into a cover nine defense and gave up an easy, cheap touchdown that should have never happened. Thank goodness I still won the game, but that's not the point. Those are the type of plays that you don't want to give up. And when you get rid of those plays, then your defense turns into an elite defense. All right. See you in the next play. All right. So a situation here, 3rd and 10. You're gonna see me go back. I'm gonna go back on this real quick. I go in here and I turn match off. Okay. So 3rd and 10, I turn off match, I put on default. Now I'm gonna call one of those defenses that are third and long for me. So on my favorites, I don't know why I can't find it. I go back towards the bottom, right? And I call cover three buzz show two, which I think is probably my favorite one because it shows cover two. You play cover three. Now I'm actually using the safety because what I'm doing here is I'm not going to jump and play the middle of the field and play the post. I'm actually going to sit back and quarters track this. I've talked about this before. I'm going to make it look like potentially like it's cover one robber or it's cover four quarters and kind of get somebody to not be sure if it's cover three or not. All right. So, and I didn't use the sticks. I was thinking about using the sticks with the linebackers and underneath coverage to see if they would get to these spots and stay there in case somebody was going to try to throw a dig route. But I said, let's just let it play out. All right. Hopefully nobody gets beat on a dig route or, high low route. So end up just using it with the safety. I don't know what concept he thought he was trying to run here. It actually looks like he just put somebody in a, I don't know what this is, to be honest with you. Somebody set down, oh, that's a running back. Set down the middle and there's just verticals behind it. But you can see how I kind of take away this vertical, right? And then I notice the other one. I start going over there. And just to me, this is something that is unique on this interception. I'm calm when the ball's in the air. My skill level in the sticks is probably below average. Okay. I'm old. So, I don't feel confident. But again, doing those drills before every game, just for like 10, 15 minutes a day, has made me feel confident that when the ball's in the air, I don't have to just like run over there and press it early. I just kind of jog over there, knowing that I don't have to go so far. Now, maybe I didn't make a great play, but it ended up working out. And I think that's part of the confidence. So I like the pass rush to be better. I didn't really go over that, guys, but make sure that your nickel package, and then your dime package has your players in different spots. Okay, I've talked about that before. That would have helped me out this game. I think I do it later in the game. I get better pass rush, but this type of three buzz to me is one of my favorite plays to call, and it was one of our best plays as well. I would mix it with the cover six and the cover nine, and if you do that, potentially user the corner, right? Because he's the guy that's going to kind of like give up, could potentially give up an easy sideline throw. So you might just want to kind of use that guy and sink back a little bit, and then you can kind of run around and make plays. But that to me, that was a good play. I'm happy to have that on the tape. So we'll keep it moving here. Okay, so next series, I want to get this on film. This is ace pair, right? So I wanted to come out in nickel, cover one, and press, and try to get a better, try to see if we can stop stretch from the nickel set, which I think I showed that on film. If you press this guy, you press the whole defense, and this safety comes up, you're in good shape. And one thing I forgot about was against this front, I've talked about it. This B gap over here on the backside is really big. Okay. So usually what I do is squeeze the D line, but in the 2-4, these guys won't squeeze down. So I would user this player and try to take away this gap. That's where the ball goes. But oops. But what I was trying to do was think about who the receivers are. I wanted to get back, like I had told you, stand back here like 30 yards deep and try to stay over the top of any type of go routes. Because I figured with me pressing everybody, he was going to try to take a shot. So I gave up a run, but I wanted to make sure that I had time. He's quick snapping me. I want to make sure I got back there to cover for number 18. Okay, so I gave up a run, and that's just because I didn't use the right person. But that's also because I was trying to give him that press look, and that's the defense I actually have up here is one press. I wanted to show press, and I think most people are going to say I'm going to go for a shot, make them throw the ball, and just go back there with your safety and try to make a play. All right, so that's one of my strategies that I use against people. Hey, I want you to throw the ball to your best player. I'm gonna go run over there and help my best player out. All right. I'll see you in the next clip. Okay, we finally get 21 personnel. I always think the strong eye is really hard to stop the outside zone play, but I didn't have you can see in my defense I couldn't call saw blitz one. So I called quarters. And because of that, I'm not gonna get the fits that I want. But I still spread my linebackers, put them in contain. I still take this player right here, this linebacker here, and I just move over, anticipating that I'm gonna have to take on the fullback. I want to stay outside the fullback to make the ball cut back at least. And hopefully the safety would come down. Quarters, not the best thing really versus this specific run, but not a bad defense for being in the red zone. So I didn't have available cover one. I would have called cover one, thinking that first and 10, he's going to run stretch. He actually ends up running power. But just watch what I do with my linebacker. I shed to the outside. Hopefully, thank God he won the shed. But that was my thought process: shed to the outside, make the ball cut back, and then go from there. All right. So it wasn't stretch, but at least it just kind of gives you an idea that you can stop the run, and the over front is better than the under front this year in Madden. I can't say anything more about it. It's unfortunate. I'm gonna try to get in some more odd defense, and then when I use the odd, I'm gonna probably do some shifting to the over front. So you can come on an odd and shift the line away from the tight end. It becomes an over front basically. But that's where I see things right now. It's not like back in the day where you could just line up an odd defense and just play ball, or under defense and just play ball. You gotta think the over is the best way to go. All right, see the next clip. Okay, so here's an example of quarters coverage, but we just play with no match. Okay, so I don't know if I actually turn match off here. Let me see if I go back real quick. Yep, let's see. I changed the corners by speed. Let me see if I can go back and see what I'm in real quick. Sorry about this. Yeah, okay. So match. Okay, I do turn match back on. So what I did here was I used the sticks, play the sticks, which gets the DBs to play in the deep part of the field deep. Pretty sure that's what I did. And then I used underneath coverage, and I used the flat defender to the what I consider to the side of to the running back side because that's the side that the shallow he tried to throw this play already. You know what I mean? So it ends up working out. Coverage is pretty good, pretty solid. Everything's taken care of. So you got to mix in some of this non-matching quarters versus some of this stuff if you want to play quarters coverage, okay? Or that's you get stuck in it. I turn match back on the next play. So just wanted to show you that. Okay, so if you guys don't know, this is a little bit of a trick here that I'm using, and I haven't got a chance to fully work it too much and watch it on tape, but I'm calling cover nine, and it's cover nine show two, right? So just know that. And the backside, I talked about this in the 3x1 tape show two. Sorry, it's take the backside quarter defender, right? Who in match coverage is fine. He's gonna play basically. He's gonna play, Meg. If I'm not mistaken, he should play Meg. He's at least gonna play mod. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now, but you could take him and put him into a 1/3. Okay, and what that does is a trick is if he runs any type of outside vertical route, this guy's gonna press the hell out of him and cover him. Okay, you don't even need to worry about helping him. But if he runs something across the field, something inside, he's not gonna press him. So if you're using the safety, you want to help out versus this. But also, just notice if you see this guy free release, you know he's coming across the field. Now, in this play, I actually don't read it. I actually do run over here because there's so much space over here. I'm anticipating him to throw the ball quick. But once this guy sits down, I just stop and then I just come back and make a hit on this slant route that is attempted here. So watch this play. You're going to see how this thing kind of works out for my favor. This is more of a reactionary thing. I didn't really know it was going to happen. But I think if I see this sooner, and I see number three sit down, and I notice that this guy did not get jammed, I need to see everything, see the whole picture, then I could just start running downhill, and I might be able to pick this off. So I can kind of almost double team Jefferson if there's no free release. And also, most of the time, if this guy is running across the field like that, let me see what the play was. There's probably nobody really running down the middle. The only thing I could think of is a streak route, a seam route, something to think about. I don't know. Maybe it's not the best way to go, but if you guys want to play around with that and let me know how it works for you, you can cover nine, show two, which could be, it doesn't matter if you're a 3-4 guy or a 4-3 guy, it doesn't matter. All right, let me see. I mean, we probably don't have that many more clips left. We're in the fourth quarter, but I'm going to try to show you a couple good ones and then in the clip soon.